When's the last time you heard about a raid that didn't have the press there? Clearly, it's for publicity. Clearly, it's to send a message.
The raids essentially were a Christmas trick. They were a PR trick.
They're used to create fear within communities and among employers. They're used to demonstrate that the government is hard-headed and tough-minded and means what it says when it's going to target. But as a broad enforcement tool, raids are episodic. They're isolated by definition.
Yes, the police agencies have rights to go after criminals, and no one wants to do anything. No one wants to impede that. But to sit there and put a fishing net out, gather everybody into that net, and then sort out who the criminals are, and deny people their lawful due process and the freedom of movement, that's wrong.
ICE never conducts an illegal raid. If they conduct a raid, it's because they feel it necessary. And obviously they had over 200 illegals. They had several that had stolen identities from somebody else. And that I resent very, very much.
I do think enforcement actions are a good tactic. I think that it sent a clear message to the community.
These raids as a tactic are offensive. Not only are they offensive, in my opinion, they're illegal. They violate the U.S. Constitution.
But how is arresting a busboy part of helping national security? Raids don't work. They send the wrong message. They say, we're going to punish the worker. We're not going to punish the employer. If they went into a plant and hauled off the HR people and left the workers as they were, the message would get sent way faster than it's getting sent right now. You're just not going to see that because that involves too much risk for ICE. They don't want to harm those people because those people are going to get lawyers, they have constitutional rights, and they're going to complain if they're mistreated. All things that illegal immigrants who are working for a living don't ever do.
Si me deportan, mis hermanos todos, ¿qué van a hacer? Mis hermanos están estudiando aquí. Yo quiero que ellos sigan estudiando aquí, pues porque en este país yo los siento ellos más seguros.
Unfortunately, I lost the election, and it was over this. I had an email from one person who had been a supporter, and he said, "Tom, you did a good job, but I can't support you. You went to Washington." That was his only reason.
If he wanted to go as Tom Selders, that was one thing, but he didn't. He went as the mayor. He went with the group that was definitely against ICE and definitely against anything happening to any of the illegals. That's why Tom Selders is not mayor now.
Mayor Selders did the right thing, and history will judge him as an advocate for human rights, as an advocate for policies that are fair.
I had a good fight, and I, continue to say I did the right thing.
We're often asked what the costs, the financial costs or impact of the raids were to the company. And the best way to describe it is it's in the tens of millions.
It's hard to know if the solution is complex because I don't think we've even decided what the true problem is.
Because at the heart of this debate, what you have is people who think, we have good laws and these must be bad people. Others of us know deep in our heart from our personal experience with immigrants for years that these are good people subjected to bad laws.
The other side wants what they want, which is amnesty. And the other side does not want amnesty. They want the rule of law.
It's the only realistic way of backing out of a problem over a period of several years that it took us many years to get into. What we call attrition through enforcement, steady enforcement of the law over legalization.
Let's start arresting these people and turning them over to ICE or creating holding facilities that will handle them or something. Let's deal with it.
We get enforcement first and enforcement only. No quid pro quo, no nothing. Real enforcement, 5, 6, 7 years of consistent, comprehensive enforcement. Shrink the illegal population, and then maybe there's a deal to be made.
I think we've got to close our border. I think we absolutely have to stop people coming here illegally. I think we've got to get more people into this country legally, however that happens.
Is a fence going to solve the problem? It's not.
Are we a police state? Is everything going to come down to criminalizing people so that, and then police raids? Is that the solution in a free and democratic country?
We have to find a system that does clamp down on the border, does make sure that workers cannot come in violation of our laws, but also is economically sensible.
The idea of comprehensive immigration reform is that you combine smart border enforcement with getting tough on employers with access to needed workers for those employers who can prove they need them, plus a path to citizenship for those undocumented immigrants already here. The combination is designed to take illegal immigration, which is ongoing, and turn it into a legal regulated system.
How about allowing the market to determine the number of jobs and let that number be whatever the number is?
This is the worst thinking of the left and the worst thinking of the right coming together.
People on both sides need to recognize that motives on either side aren't necessarily evil, it's just people's opinion. So people against illegal immigration aren't necessarily evil racists, and people who are for a guest worker program aren't necessarily greedy capitalists.
What we need is maybe this sensible middle that basically says, look, why are we doing this?
And I think the public is actually much more open to, I wouldn't say compromise solutions, but much more open to some kind of middle way.
We all, in our own minds, say, this is the land of opportunity. This is the land of where we're fair to everybody. And I think we've got to say, are we being fair? Are we being equal?
Because the truth is, when you have a strong, growing, vibrant economy, guess what? People are going to want to come here. And if we continue to have economic growth, I don't care if they build a wall 30 feet high around America, they're going to come. They'll swim here, they'll tunnel here, they'll parachute into here. You know, they will find a way to come to fill the demand for jobs.
It's very easy to tear things down. It's a lot harder to build.
Are the actions today going to benefit the nation tomorrow?
It's becoming a defining issue, not what we do about immigrants, but what kind of country we are.
Who we are going to be as a society over the next 100 years.
We have a government of the people, by the people, for the people. The people need to speak.
I'm sick and tired of working every day. That's not true, that's not true. There's a couple. And I ain't gonna, no, I ain't gonna go out that way. What you do here. I'm sick and tired. Yeah, I got my own so late. I'm sick and tired. Now I choose to do the work that I want to do. That's the thing that brings me here to you. That's the reason that I sing the blues. I didn't bend into the marquee. That's not the right way for me. SUG is my sanity, humanity. I can't be the doing what you love or set you free, but that's too many words, time to sing. I'm sick and tired.